And sometimes they will come to the communities, they will kidnap you, take you, and give you option. It's either you follow them to go to abduct or kidnap people, or you go to their farm and work for them for 3 months, 2 months. This is one of the situation where even if I leave Kaduna now, I say, okay, let me go back to Kaduna State, I cannot even have access to my farm. So I can tell you there is no any farmer, unless if you are a petty farmer who only farm to feed, to eat. But if you are doing farming business as a means of living in the northwest Nigeria, you can only migrate to Kano State or Jigawa State, and then their farm is not fertile. Even if you go there, if I invest 300,000 naira in Kaduna State, I know I can get 700,000 naira. But if I try that in Kano State, it's hardly for me to get a profit of 150.
Farmers in northern Nigeria are no longer safe. They are frequently targeted by bandits and terrorists. Going to the farm has now become a nightmare for them. According to the Kaduna State government, bandits attack farmers in a bid to cripple the rural economy of the state.
Many northern states, not least our states in the northwest, are confronting a unique set of security challenges. Criminal activities by bandits have threatened both rural and urban communities. Bandits have openly tried to crush the rural economy by attacking farmers in their fields and in their homes.
Kaduna State is one of the major producers of cereals, including maize, sorghum, millet, and other crops like groundnuts. The state produces 10% of Nigeria's groundnuts and 22% of corn. Despite the projection of sufficient rainfall this year, there is still a looming threat to food security. Farmers are fleeing their communities for fear of being kidnapped by bandits, leaving behind hectares of land they used to cultivate.
We used to farm at least 3 to 350 bags for different, for either maize and that of rice. So without because of this insecurity, we say, okay, let's pause for a while.
Awa Buba is a farmer. He abandoned his vast farmland in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State due to insecurity. To avoid being out of business, Awa moves to where is not susceptible to frequent bandit attacks. In the company of some of his colleagues, he takes us to his current farm located at Maraban Jos, which isn't too far from the town. Insecurity is forcing farmers like Awa to the roadside or big towns where yield will be relatively small.
Even this place, we facing small insecurity. Last 2 months ago, some of the bandits that he came there, I'm not to this farm. Just he come the place near to me that he kidnapped so many people. He kidnapped my neighbor, the person that we own this farm. So the person will pay more than 50 million for ransom. So I have a friend that we cultivate maize, like 50 hectares. Even now we don't have money to come and do it because we paid the ransom for our 3 boys in his house.
The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, has projected that about 25.3 million people in Nigeria would face acute food insecurity during the June to August 2023 rain season. According to FAO, the food insecurity is mostly driven by worsened security conditions and conflicts in northern states, which has led to the displacement of millions of people and are constraining farmers' access to their lands.
Things that will cause this problem, there are some of the farmers, we don't farm the maize. We don't can access to the farm, to farming, to bring the maize and go to the market and sell it. Majority, some of the small farmers, we contribute more than 65% for farm production in Nigeria.
Sharing his plight as a farmer, Abubakar Kankara says he stopped farming about 2 years ago after several attempts by bandits to kidnap him. Kankara's farm is located at a place called Audujangon in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State, a deadly hotspot for kidnappers, exactly where bandits launched an attack on the Kaduna-Abuja train. His losses ran into millions of naira.
There's a one certain day, they come to my farm waiting for me to come. There's this baggy man whom usually walked into my farm. He has to call me and told me. I was even inside the farm. But he called me and told me that, please, Oga, don't come to that farm. Already I was inside the farm. So I have to sneak and leave my car there. They they broke out all the glasses of the car. And then in that same day, they burned the whole millet in that farm. And it worth at least it worth about 6 million naira, only that millet. While the maize there, when we usually cultivate it, we leave it there to dry up for almost, I think, sometimes 1 month, sometimes 2 months. They burn everything down. So accumulatively in that farm, in that single day, I lost not less than 10 million naira inside that farm, because the fertilizer inside there, the poultry, all my chicken, my birds, they're there. So it's not as if they even stole it. No, they set the farm ablaze. So I lost everything there. It's only the farm there, which 2 years now I've not even stepped in my leg inside the farm. I don't know the situation.
Farmers are now forced to pay taxes before they are allowed access to their lands. Terrorists prey on innocent farming communities, thereby causing a devastating effect on the economy. The story is not quite different from what obtains in parts of Benengwari local government area of Kaduna State.
A lot of my friends whom we usually meet at the markets to sell our product, some of them are still there around Benengwari axis, but around Benengwari axis is only bandits. There are Boko Harams there. So those Boko Haram are more dangerous than even the bandits. If you own a farm, they will tell you when to go to your farm and when to leave your farm. And at the end of your cultivating period, when you harvest your product, they will come to you and tell you the certain amounts you give them. And as well, the bandits are watching you. The bandit will wait for you to go and sell the product. And if you fail to sell the product, they will come and kidnap you. Your family must go and sell the product and then pay your ransom to your release. Farmers are not safe. They are just like a source of income to terrorists.
Agriculture, which is one of the main pillars of President Muhammadu Buhari's economic policy, is becoming less attractive in northern Nigeria because of insecurity, with potential for causing huge deficits in food production. There are lots of expectations from the incoming administration, both at the federal and state level, as something urgent needs to be done to avert the risks of hunger, especially for those already fighting hard to survive, the highly vulnerable displaced populations and farmers in violence-prone areas. Nisi Gabriel, Arise News.